In today's video, we're going to be covering a bit of a story, more than facts and logic and stuff that we've been covering over this last period of time. We're going to be covering why am I investing in property? So that is quite a big question. Oftentimes in the classroom or when I'm doing any of the online training, my coaching, when I do ask my students, so why are you investing in property? I get an array of answers. And this is why today I say today is going to be a little bit around stories. You know, when I got into property investing, I understood what my why was. My why was not legacy and I love my children and I want this and I want that. Yes, all of those things tick. But my why and why I got into property investing, clearly I heard that you can have a no money down deal and that you're able to earn an extra income. That actually was my why. So I find that over time, we do have these lovely reasons why we want to get into property investing. But I want to ask what pushes you into the actual act of doing property investing. So, welcome to my channel. My name is Genevieve Stafford Jack. And as shared with you, today's a bit of a personal story because at the end of the day, when we get into the different disciplines that we're in, we're there for a different reason, right? When I finished school, my first job was a cleaner. Why did I get into a job of being a cleaner? Because I needed experience to be anything else. And I'm just like, come on, I've just finished matric. Where did I have to get this experience of being a teller or an admin clerk or whatever the case is way back in 1997? Where would I've got this experience if I was in school all this time? So not having the finances to continue in terms of tertiary, I needed to go and find a job. And my reality is that I started as a cleaner and progressed finding a cashier job. So 2 days as a cleaner, 3 days as a cashier. And this is the way I had put my income together. So you would ask me, so why a cleaner? Because I needed experience for everything else. And I was not exposed to anything else that will be able to give me an income. So I rolled with the punches. And as life has progressed, I'd gone into au pairing. Why au pairing? Because I love children. And this was also an opportunity to fulfill this deep down desire of going overseas, working in a family, having the safety of a family, and also traveling overseas, which was something that was not heard of in the community that I grew up in. In fact, when I came and I made that announcement that I'm going to be an au pair, I remember somebody in the church saying, God didn't talk to me about that. And she had given herself the title of prophet. And I don't know whether it was, well, for me, in my perspective of what I saw, that's what I thought she gave herself. I didn't know if it was in a calling in her life or whatever, but I felt at that time, I'm going. I'm going to do what I need to do because I've been looking for something different and I found it. But it wasn't because I found it overnight and I had the money to do it, only because I had started doing babysitting jobs. I did a early development childhood, early childhood development program, and it was all around au pairing, and I was able to take care of kids, and I already got that experience whilst being a cleaner and a cashier and doing all of these things part-time or at night. So I literally, as a young girl, started holding down a number of things. And my reason ultimately was I wanted to get ahead, but I wanted to use everything that I could in my power to use it as a stepping stone to get ahead. And fast forward, when I was in the Netherlands, I would send postcards to the office that actually assisted me in finding a family, and I'd gone through the process of au pairing with them. I would send postcards of every country that I had visited because I was fulfilling that desire inside of me whilst working and getting an income. So again, what was I doing? I was using what I had available as a stepping stone. And little did I know that while I was sending these postcards, they were sharing with future au pairs, Hey, this is an au pair. She's traveled to Paris. She's traveled to London again. She's done this. She's done that. And it was validated on the postcards. Talk about social proof and you don't even realize it, right? And so way back when I came back from the Netherlands after my year, I'd come through to the office and was excited and whatnot. And a day later, after visiting them in the office, they asked me, would you like to be a sales consultant so that you can share with girls that are interested in au pairing about your journey? What do you think I did? I jumped into that opportunity. What I didn't realize is that I was shaping my why on getting closer and closer and closer to really reaching my purpose and understanding me. And that's why I started getting excited. If I can speak about something from my experience, I'm like, oh, and I've got evidence, and it ticked my boxes, and I was excited. I did it. So I tell you all of that to say, as we get started in life and as we get moving in life, we are going to be doing certain things that we really don't understand that these are milestones on getting us to where we're wanting to be. But ultimately, when they asked me why property investing, I said I came here reluctantly, and then I heard of a strategy of no money down. So I came to learn about no money down so I can make this baby work for me, right? And I also understand it's not a get rich quick scheme. I understand that here I'm in it and I'm going to be in it for the long haul. So I best get my ducks in a row to literally understand what property investing is about. And that I did. Because what pushed me to really understand that was, hey, growing debt is not nice. It's like a noose around your neck, especially if you have not solved that solution of where am I going to constantly get something coming in to solve for that creditor so that I don't get a phone call. So, my question to you today, why are you in property investing? And why did you choose property investing? So I trust that after this video, you'll be able to give it a thought and drop the comments down below. I truly would love to hear from you. And like I said, this video is not like one of the other videos where I'm giving you facts and figures and we're rolling with this is a skill that you need to do, but this is a bit of introspection. And doing introspection really, I believe, helps you to define why you are where you are. Because sometimes we also consume information and we don't apply it. And then sometimes we'll say, I want to be here because I want to leave a legacy, and I respect that. I want to leave a legacy of wealth for my children. I do not want to leave a legacy of lack for my children. So when I get through certain processes and I'm able to speak from the other side, this is where I believe we then become strong as individuals on why property investing. When I started in property investing, I never for a moment thought I would be teaching it, let alone coaching it, because at that time it was not even in my view. And when I was pulled into training and coaching, I knew at that time, yes, I may know three things more than the next person, but I'm not sure that this is where I needed to be. And I did some coaching and training for a short period of time, and I pulled out of it because my why for property investing was not to train and coach. Heck no, that was not my reason. Because my reason was not to make money from somebody else wanting education, especially at that time because my mindset was not there. I failed to understand that if I've invested over 100,000 in my property investing journey, that somebody else needs to pay me that money and that's how I get my freedom. It didn't click like that in my mind. What I knew was I'm not ready for that. And until I needed to get through my hurdles and understanding the basics and really just plugging it down and having experience and then having a proper solid testimony in my perspective, not somebody else's, but my perspective, then and maybe then would I teach it because I am always excited to teach what I've learned, especially if it was a hurdle in my life. And at one stage in the beginning of property investing, it was tough. I didn't understand. I felt inadequate. I'd gone through spaces where I was like, how the heck did my husband get it and I didn't get it? Why is this happening to me? And there was a lot of emotion that was in me. And then I thought to myself, I didn't get into this to just be frustrated with the world. I got into this to make some money. Yes, not overnight, but over a long period of time, because that's what property investing is all about. And until that switch was truly made in me at the beginning of 2019, I then started asking myself, if I struggled through this, there are many people I believe that might be like me. And those are the people I want to help. There are people that I believed in my circumstances where I was, I could least afford 100K. Is there somebody that I could help and make the journey easier? Why? Because I started putting in place from property investing and the strategies that we did. I started putting in place how I could take care of my creditors and not simply just say to the next person, I'm going to teach you a skill and get money from them. So that was what was the wiring that was going on in my mind. That was also part of my limiting beliefs that was going on in my mind. However, what it did for me was that I was able to fight through all of that, put a program together of the biggest hurdles and the basic blueprints of how you can get through those hurdles. And that is where I found, hey, I'm not only in property investing for the strategies that are there. I'm also in property investing to help people who, like myself, struggle through, go and find a distressed property. What is your strategy? Analyze this deal. When I really got to understanding the simplicity behind those statements, and I got through those hurdles. And then when I was able to speak to somebody else, I found that sometimes investors that have got 4, 5, 6 deals don't understand certain basics. And that for me scared me. Why? Because that puts somebody out in a very vulnerable situation. So that is my story on why I'm in property investing. And once I was able to solve for my creditors, then, with a clear conscience, I was able to come into teaching and coaching so that I can teach that from the bottom of my heart, the bottom of my being, to really come back up to say, okay, now I can teach you without thinking you need to pay me 100,000. Well, of course, my fees are not horrendous like that, but also think about the actual skill that we learn. We go to school for so long, we go to different other institutions for so long, and sometimes we end up parting with 10,000 Rand and we get the surface of the information, and then we part with another 50, 70,000 Rand, and then we kind of get into the next crux of things. And that's where I said, I'm also in property investing to help the small guy on the street that needs somebody to hold their hand. And that's why I also limit people coming into my space about property investing. And this is what this channel is for, to find a way to teach as much as I can without devaluing the absolute gem of what property investing is about. So that's my why. What is your why? So I trust that if you enjoyed this video, click on the subscribe button. Again, it's not a normal video, but it's a video I just felt at this point where we find so much going on online, where join us today, you put 200 Rand in, tomorrow you get your house. I'm not dissing that. I just worry about that. I worry about the essence behind that. I worry about when we're in the middle of a pandemic and somebody cannot learn the nuts and bolts of a skill to actually apply it on their own. Those are the things that keep me up at night. And that is the secondary reason as to why I'm in property investing. The first one is to create legacy. Why? Because now, having put certain things in place to solve for my creditors, and knowing that over time my creditors will be taken care of. Why? Because of the skill I learned that I've applied. So I trust that this video has been good for you. Take good care, and I'll see you in the next episode.